Yeah, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zod. I had a couple of shout outs, but I'm just go ahead and wait to the next video. A few people are coming in my comment. They're like, hey, Zod, check out this interview that, Vlad did with the Drayster and BG Knockout. And at first I don't watch Vlad anymore because I already know what he does. I made a comment about Vlad back in when I first started my videos, and I basically said this dude is a freaking culture vulture. He don't live this life. He just gaining his off the life. And I kept saying that this Vato uses questions to lead you down a rabbit hole. Yeah, and it's on you to respond to him. But this dude does shit on purpose. I told you in another video that this dude admitted that the fools that he rolls with are off-duty cops. That's the ones that protect them. That's the ones that be around him. And I know he pretty much said that because he know a lot of the little, shit that he was doing, and fools are getting caught up for if people are starting to look in his way. And if you didn't feel nervous about it, then you would feel no need to respond to it. I mean, at the end of the day, you did say that off-duty cops protect you. So with that being said, I usually don't go in on nobody. Like I said, I went in on Yuck Mouth kind of, and not Yuck Mouth, but Young Buck. My comment, but didn't really go into him in 6ix9ine. I went into some things, but I try to stray away from that because I don't really want my channel about that. But when I seen this interview and people told me to go see it, it was kind of funny. I seen where he was going with it. This dude purposely knows what he causes, and he knows that by asking dudes certain questions, everybody's gonna feel pressured to say what they gotta say, because they don't want to look bad. But I say like this: if you're not out on the street gangbanging, then why are you looking bad? Let the shit that's on the street handle the street. As far as like people making their comments, as far as like when the homie said that that the homies run California, basically Los Angeles, whatever. Number wise, we're deeper. It's just the way it is. When it comes to camaradas, that's not putting nobody down. That's just straight out flat math. We're deeper. Gang wise, it's just whatever. And then, as far as like structure, we got structure. It's always we just can't run around half cock like nothing. We have to answer for whatever we do. So, with that being said, and that's not going into nothing, but when I heard like a comment about the, one of the cats say that we stole structure from them, bruh, that shit is so funny. Like it's crazy. Like, I got family that are sangres, so I know what their constitution is, and and some that still abide by certain constitutions, and there's certain people are still around in the shadows. But as far as like on the others, not others as others, but on certain sides that there's no real organizations like that. So I kind of just laugh at false shit like that. You know what I mean? But like I said, the whole thing with Vlad, I told people what this dude does. This dude is a straight culture vulture, just like academics, dude. They get you to say certain things. It improves their rating because what do people like to hear? Drama. What do they want to hear? People telling. They want to know every little thing about everything that they don't know. You know what I mean? How's it in prison? How's it drugs? How's this? They want that. They don't care if you wreck yourself. People ask me all the time questions about certain structure, and I can tell them absolutely nothing. Don't want to tell them absolutely nothing. But see, that's a difference between the homies and a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of that we ain't never gonna speak on, and it's just like that. Like, I can't really fault dudes, when they get into these arenas, you know what I mean, as far as like, in these interviews, and they don't have, they don't have that type of structure. And I won't even say all, because there's some cats I know that it's always stitched lip, but there's some cats that feel like they get loose with it when they get them cameras in front of them. For the most part, letting somebody bait you into a question that got ramification behind it could start all this drama over nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for the most part, the vultures that really, antagonize this shit ain't gonna be out there in the field when the shit go down. They're gonna be sitting at their house in some little rich ass neighborhood. They're not finna be out in the street sliding on nobody. They're gonna leave that to their homeboys to pick up that slack. You know what I mean? And we know certain neighborhoods that has happened to. They do something, it falls on their neighborhood, and now you got these vultures that gotta be there on the front line because they part of that hood, so they gotta represent. You know what I mean? So That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't know why, certain vultures let them, it's like one dude in the comment, he said, you know what? Blacks move in silence, and a lot of them do, but there's some that just don't. Like that question right there was so leading, and I really didn't think certain cats was gonna bite, especially seeing that cats are supposed to be older, more well versed. Nah, bit right into it, and just with words like that could start so much drama. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that they let a media dude twist them to the point to where they said what they said. You know what I mean? Everybody, it's like dude said, everybody wants to say their neighborhood is number one. But Vlad knows that when it comes to race relationships in Los Angeles, that it's real fickle. You know what I mean? OGs know exactly what war brings. You know what I mean? War brings death. People losing moms, people losing cousins, brothers, fathers, sons. So that's what I'm talking about with Vlad. When he says these things, there's certain things that you should just avoid. But this guy goes right into it. And he didn't just end with that. If you notice his conversation, he wanted to delve even deeper. For one thing, Vlad is one of them fools that just don't really care. You know what I mean? As long as he gets his views and his name still stays, up there, he's cool with it. If a war starts over something people said in an interview, he don't care about, because it's not going to directly affect him. He's going to come with some bullshit ass story saying how, he doesn't tell guys to do. He knows what he did. You know what I mean? And hopefully, that shit ends there and there ain't no ramification behind anything. It's no need to have drama on the LA streets over bullshit because certain people don't know how to just keep it to themselves. You got to learn to keep it to. There's so many dudes that make me mad when they say certain things, and I just keep it. There's certain dudes that ask me certain questions in order to get me to say something negative that might have real ramification behind it, real life consequences, and that's the thing. Vlad don't understand that there's real life consequences behind certain things that you ask. And when people respond to this dude, you know what I mean? That's why when they're like, hey, would you ever do Vlad? If he asks me, fuck no. Why? Because I know what type of cat he is. I just don't understand why dudes allow him to bring out stupid. Like it's like I said, at the end of the day, when things happen because of certain things, a lot of these cats that be on here running their mouth are not finna be in the field doing nothing. That's why I don't be out here just running my mouth like, rapping, because I'm an old man, you know what I mean? As far as like on some OGs, I'm an old man. So I'm not in the field going to be sliding on anybody. I'm be sitting in the house. So if I said something reckless and now my homies are warring with some fool because my mouth and I'm not out there backing them up, come on, dude. Like, it's just, you got to be smart about this, dude. Letting cats bait you into a particular subject. So what the homie said about running Los Angeles. If vultures don't believe that it's true, then chalk it up. I got family on here right now that's Bloods. If somebody say something like that, they'll probably laugh and go on their little way. They're not finna get on social media and be like, oh, well, that's bullshit. And it's drama over stuff like that. Like, if it's not true, then just leave it. Why even feed into it? It's just because people, like I said, criminals always need to tell on themselves. I can't take, and this ain't putting nobody out there, but I can take nobody serious that'll get on social media and tell you who he think killed such and such and go into detail. See, that's the thing about Vlad. I've seen some of Vlad's interviews, and I know certain cats that he continue to bring back. Anybody that'll sit in front of a camera like this and tell you who they think killed their homeboy, that speaks volumes. No way if I sat right here and was like, you know what, I think this fool killed my homeboy, you think I'll be sitting here tomorrow or the days after? Come on, dude. Cats just ain't smart. But like I said, certain cats are allowed to get loose lip with it, and others aren't. But like I said, when you say things like that, you know what I'm saying, and people bait you into dumbass conversation. That's it. Come on, dude. That's like somebody asking you, hey, who's bringing in 10 bricks to the pier? You gonna go in there and be like, oh yeah, well, this dude is doing it. Nah, that's how you do it. It don't matter what race you are. Everybody knows that you don't talk about certain things. In prison, straight out, how many times have dudes been at each other's throat and about to get into it? But dudes just sit down, have a conversation, and go on about their way. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes, I know dudes that I fucked with from Black P Stone. You know what I'm saying? And I know dudes from 18 that was my homeboys. I know dudes from East Coast. I got family from East Coast. I got homies from Florence. They're in jail. They're not talking mess to each other because they know it's going to be a war and there's consequences behind that. People die all the time. And Vlad don't care. That's what people don't get. This dude don't care. Black dudes can kill each other all day. He don't give a ARF, busted. And yeah, he may have basically told on himself, but this dude, he like pushes for that loose lip. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say. Give me them views. People gonna chime in because they want to see it. Hey, what's this fool gonna say? What's he gonna say next? Is he gonna tell? Is he? Oh yeah, you know this fool. He's boastful. He gonna tell on himself. Look at all these dudes getting busted. And yeah, they may have put the nail in the coffin, but this dude pushes for certain subject. And watch, if he leading questions. If he asks you one thing and you don't answer it, he goes back to it. He'll try to josh around and make it seem like it's all fun and games, but then he goes back to it. Why? Because he wants you to answer that question. Why? Because he knows who he runs with. And the dudes that don't get it just ain't smart. And I'm sure there's going to be a few dick riders that get on here and be like, oh, Vlad, he doesn't do nothing. Yeah, he's a journalist, but there's journalists and then there's culture vultures. You can be a journalist and just stay up out of the business. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask people stupid questions about where the drugs are coming from. How many fools have you killed? What blocks are you running? That shit. And people don't get it. This dude leads them to destruction. You allow your lips to get loose because maybe you're feeling some type of nostalgia because, you were irrelevant for a long time and now you're in front of cameras and it's like, so you get to talking. And talking causes drama. That's why I'll be like this at the house kicking it. I'll go out. Am I pushing my hood like that? Nah. If a fool got problems with me, I'm going to handle my business. But that's just, that's just how we are. You know what I'm saying? That's anybody that's really about that business ain't finna run from no knuckles. I may not be like, oh, you want to get a shootout? I'm not finna do that unless you run up on me. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's being smart. You want to stay out of jail. You want to stay out of the drama. You want to be able to maneuver. When you're making stupid comments about, who's running what and, that's who's stealing from, that's like, come on, dude, you're asking for issues. So now if a dude run up on a certain cat on the street and blam him down, that's a whole nother war. You know what I'm saying? And LA can't afford no more wars. Every time a war start, people get killed. Dude, I got homies from Compton that ain't even around no more because little bullshit. I got homies, from T-Flats. I had homies from here. I got homies from Longo. I knew dudes from 20s. Dudes getting blowed down when it's war. You know what I mean? It's like, but these cats don't get it, Get in front of social media and just get reckless. And ain't gonna be out there in the street with nobody. Or they'll probably people go on social media and be like, hey, I want that head, I want that fade. Come on, dude. You ain't my homeboy, so the only thing you can get is something in the face. Like, that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? No camaradas, nada. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. The same way, like if I'm on the street and I, call some blood out, you think this dude's gonna give me a head up? Nah, he probably gonna blow me down because he don't have to give me that. You know what I mean? This is social media. It's reckless. And this is all what I say. Social media is a reckless fucking platform for dudes like this. You just gave some Russian dude, and no shots at Russians because I know some real ones. I know dudes, from AP, my boys, you know what I mean? But you got this dude straight got you to go down a reckless road. When you get to talking about the homies, it gets reckless. That's like me running up in the crib hood and disrespecting. Dude, I know dudes that just really maneuver with that, you know what I mean? And I stay out their lane because I'm too old to be out there doing this and trying to do this. That only sends me back to prison where I got to be warned 24/7. Fools that ain't involved in that shit no more should just live a comfy life. If you can, if cats can't really respect what they say, they let their emotions allow them to go to a certain place, they should just hold that because there's ramification behind that. And this ain't even no call to arms. This is like, damn, cats should really just be careful. Don't allow dudes to lead them down that lane. And this dude, Vlad, is leading dudes down a bad path, dude. If a war started in LA right now, dude, what's going to happen to him? That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, bridge these gaps, dude. Don't continue to cause divide. Just because one dude said who run Los Angeles, that's him being boastful. He's a rapper. This dude is boasting himself. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. Now, we know where the structure's at, and we know where the number's at. But that's just, everybody knows that. It doesn't mean who runs. It's just, That's the numbers are right there. You know what I'm saying? And as far as structure, we know where the structure is at. We run under structure. You know what I mean? It's just, and that's why we survive as long as we have, because it's just the way it is. It's etched into you. Like I said, dudes that used to bang back in the day had communities and they were about something. You know, you got all these little youngsters that, you know, and not all youngsters, but you got some youngsters that just reckless at the mouth. They don't, and they G's ain't checking their chins, you know what I mean? So they feel like they can say whatever they want. And that's the type of that starts a gang of drama. So Vlad, you should just really slide back off that hood stuff. You know, let people, if you're a civilian, be a civilian. You into hip hop, push that hip hop, but don't ask about hoods. Don't ask about Los Angeles and who runs it. Don't do none of that, dude. You leading people to war. Like, just stay off that. Stay to yourself, do your platform, but stay the fuck away from these subjects, dude. Because eventually you gonna anger the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know, and you gotta be just the academic, same thing. Now you see him all nervous. Just be weary of the stupid stuff that you ask, man. It's like, man, like, and to the homies, you know, hopefully nobody gets riled up off of this stupid fool, you know, and hopefully dudes will be more careful on what they say in the future. But like I said, any dude that'll get on social media and talk about who they think killed their homeboy, there's no respect from me at all. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's stitched lips always. We don't say nothing. It's just you either get your get back or you leave it alone. But going on social media talking about who you think killed the homeboy and start naming names of the fools that were around and telling a story, that's the type of shit I don't respect. And on that note, I'm out.